got saved. Lots of really close saves. 2 shots hit the post. It kind of sucked. We lost that game, and it was rough. I felt like we were fighting an uphill battle the whole time. I picked Neo Tokyo strategically for Game 3 as hopes of maybe getting a second win, and things were looking good. We had a 4-0 on Neo Tokyo, and then the stream like crashed, and nobody
I
got
saw
to see
that.
what happened.
here
in the
everybody's
last
blaming
game.
Carpet for that
What
one.
was
Like,
that? I
people
heard
came into my
so.
chat.
The game ended 3-4. We scored at 0 seconds, and we gave up, I think, 4 free goals right off the bat. It was really ugly. I think Latch got distracted by Carpet and James disconnecting and reconnecting and disconnecting and reconnecting.
Oh, man.
And yeah, we had a little bit of a focus problem there, and we gave up 4 free goals and then almost brought it back, but it wasn't enough.
All right, well, I love that you brought up that focus thing because I'm going to hound you with some questions about that later. But for those that or haven't been able to pay attention because you've been busy, general format, I'm going to ask you about the first 4 games, the quarterfinals for the LAN, get your predictions on those. Johnny's going to follow up with your predictions based upon your results and answers, the semis and the grand finals, and then we're going to ask some kind of more rounded questions to get your opinion on stuff. So let me know when you are ready.
All right, hit me with them.
All right, rapid fire. Game 1, Weedham Girls Genesis. Who takes it in a best of 5?
I think Weedham Girls takes it 90% of the time in a sweep fashion. I feel like the only way Genesis is going to take this series, or even a game, is if Maestro and Greazy get upset at Remco, and Remco tilts off the face of the earth, and they lose that defensive prowess in him. And if we see that happen, if Remco starts messing up clears, and they start getting scored on because of massive defensive mistakes, and Genesis takes that game, I feel like Genesis could win that series. But outside of that low percent scenario, I feel like Weedham Girls is just going to roll right over them.
Okay, now after just talking to Quinn and Pluto a little bit ago, it sounds like they're mentally in a very good state. No matter what happens, they're going to have a good time. They're going to have fun with it. So I don't think tilt is ever going to be an issue for Genesis. Do you think that will help them in the situation against Weedham Girls?
I think they should definitely use that to their advantage. Quinn, I think, is a very good leader. I think it'll be up to Quinn to keep Espion's mental game there. Espion is kind of known for getting upset at himself and being down on himself, and that kind of tilts him a little bit. If Quinn can keep everyone's spirits high and be that rock, that anchor for the team, and really, really pressure Weedham Girls mentally, I feel like they have a chance.
Very well said. Game 2, Flipside Tactics, iBuyPower Cosmic. You guys, no more Gambit. You got over 0 stepping in. How do you guys handle?
Well, people kind of discredit Zero as a player. He's definitely not new, at least to me, in the team. I've played with Zero for a very, very, very long time. I've been watching him grow into the player he has. He's incredibly mechanically skilled, and he doesn't get enough credit for what he's like, for the shoes he has to fill. And I think he's going to really step up. He's very comfortable in front of a crowd. He's performed. He's very good at musical instruments and singing, and so he's done that in front of a crowd. He knows what it's like to mess up in front of a crowd and have to go on and perform. So no matter what happens in a set, I think he's going to be in the right place mentally.
Now that the biggest problem from what we've seen, obviously, from this iBuyPower team is with Gambit, all 3 of you were very known as kind of like superstars. So a lot of the times you guys made mistakes with committing a little bit too hard. And from the games that I've watched, kind of over 0's been that last man back, having to play defense, whether it be against the other team or sometimes your own goals. But do you think that's going to be a big factor for you guys, with him being a little bit more defensive, kind of filling in that role?
We've been going over our replays a lot, and Zero and Latch being the last one back means that I've made a mistake. I've gone too hard on defense, and I haven't rotated out. Recently, like in our PPL matches this week and in our Gamers 3 match, even though we did lose 3-1, I was happy with the way we were rotating. And I've done a better job not staying when I don't need to. I felt like because Gambit was gone, I needed to really step up, and I would just throw myself with the ball, trying to make something out of nothing, and that's just not the right way to play the game. I need to trust my teammates and move back and let them play offense so that I can help them on defense.
Okay. Glad to see you guys are taking this seriously. How do you think the series is going to end with Flipside and yourself?
Well, Flipside, I believe, has as far as mental games concerned, two of the strongest people and one of the weakest. I think Mike and Cux or Mike and Marky are really going to do well, and Cux could potentially fall apart with all the eyes on him. With that being said, I think it'll be close, but if I was a spectator, I would say Flipside would most likely take it. I have them as the favorite to win the whole tournament. So.
Okay. Point-wise, how's it going to end? What are your points?
It's best of 5 at the first game, right?
Yep, best of 5s all the way until the grand finals.
I think it'll be close. It'll go all the way. It'll be 3-2 then.
3-2 flip?
Yep.
Okay. Next up, we've got Mocket EU versus Exodus. Probably the, I've said many times, the most contested, that we're getting a lot of people that are back and forth on this one.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is, I would say, probably the closest round 1 matchup of the tournament. I'm a little worried about Exodus being so young, and really, I feel like they don't have that leader that's going to step up when somebody tilts or when somebody doesn't have a great game. They need someone to look to, and someone might have a great game. You know, it'll be up to Moses, Garrett, or Turtle to have an insane game to bring them back if anything happens. I feel like this is kind of a clash of the defense. Exodus and Mocket are very well known for kind of just hanging back and waiting for stuff to happen. So we might get a ton of stalemates, or somebody steps up and absolutely 1v3s the defense. I don't know.
Yeah, both teams definitely have that capability. We've seen it before. I mean, you look at that difference. Do you think if, say, one of these young guys, Garrett or Turtle, really step up and take that level-headed position, kind of become that captain and that grounding for this team, do you think they have a better chance? Or do you think Moses needs to be being the older one, the guy that does that? Do you think age is the difference in what determines that? Or what is the factor that determines who that captain per se is?
Well, the age can be a factor. Age is commonly a factor. But I feel like Turtle and Garrett, for the most part, will be okay, and Moses will be okay as well. I think it'll actually come down to in-game whether or not Moses is hitting the clears he needs to hit and moving up on offense when he should. I feel like how Exodus plays and the games Exodus wins are going to be the games where Moses is playing on point.
Okay. So it comes down to, what are your predictions in the best of 5? It's tough.
I still think I'm going to give it to Mocket EU in a 3-2 Game 5 OT.
Okay.
I feel like Pashy and Siki are just going to be that crazy dynamic duo and kind of outclass each of the Exodus players individually.
Okay, I'm even going to put an OT on that. I'm going to hold that to you.
Okay, let's see.
All right. Last up, we got Flying Dutchman versus Kings of Urban. Kings of Urban, I guess, has been shown. A lot of people like them, but this could go either way. Someone even mentioned Flying Dutchman getting neutered in a joking fashion, so we'll see what happens. What are your predictions for these?
I have this as a sweep for Kings. I think they're just outmatched in almost every regard.
It's saying Flying Dutchman's outmatched in every regard?
Yes.
And why is that?
Well, Kings likes to get in your face. They'll take your boost. Jacob stays up all the time and just looks for people to run into.
That he does.
Flying Dutchman, I've seen what happens when a rotation breaks from them. And I just feel like they're going to crack under the pressure, both in the game and out of the game.
Okay, sweep from 3-0 for Kings. That brings it over now to Johnny, where he's got to try to figure out what the heck you're going to do with the rest of this bracket. Take it away, Johnny.
Yeah, you've got a pretty similar bracket. You've got the same semi-final predictions as Turbo, as Greazy. I think they're the only two people that you agree with 100% so far. Oh no, also Pashy. Yeah, Greazy, Pashy, and Turbo all think that Weedham Girls, Mocket, Flipside, and Kings are going to make the semis. So based on that, what do you think is going to be the result of the first semi-final, Weedham Girls against Mocket EU? It is a best of 5 still.
Historically, online, Weedham Girls has done very well. Weedham Girls has had amazing offensive pressure, and Mocket's defense has never been able to really keep up. And assuming nobody tilts off the face of the earth, I think it's going to be, this is best of 7, right?
5.
Oh,
Best
it's
of
still
five.
Okay, I think it'll be 3-1 Weedham Girls.
Right. And for the other semi-final flip side against Kings, are we going to see a North American team make the final, or is it going to be EU all the way?
I think we're going to see a North American final. I think Kings is going to take it all the way to Game 5 with a reverse sweep over flip side tactics.
Interesting.
That'd be so
2-0
hype.
flip side, 3-2 KOU. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That would be a good series. That'd be a very good series.
Can't wait to have Carpet lose his voice again.
So we didn't actually see, like, everybody who was on the show early was predicting Weedham Girls flip side final, our first 6 guests, and then since then we've been seeing some NA teams start to creep in there. Pashi predicting Mucket KOU. We saw Quinn predicting Genesis flip side final, but both yourself, Kronovi, and Garrett thinking Weedham Girls Kings of Urban final. And for me, I think that out of all of the potential finals that involve a North American team, this is the most likely one. So Kings of Urban, Weedham Girls, winners final best of 5. Who's going to take it?
In the end, I think Weedham Girls is going to take it. I feel like they're a very mechanically solid team with great offense, and the only way to beat them is to beat them with better offense, and right now I think their offense is the best.
Mm-hmm. So when Weedham Girls send Kings into losers, is there any chance for Kings or another team to come out of the losers bracket and then take down Weedham Girls in 2 best of 7s in a row? Because that's the format of choice. It's double best of 7 grand final. Weedham Girls only have to win one of those best of 7s, of course, because they've come from the winners bracket. Is there any chance, do you think that's going to happen?
I think the only teams that can go to the losers bracket and make it back out are going to be Kings and Flipside, and I want to put us in there because we know our opponent is going to be Flipside. We're practicing for who I think are the favorites, and we're definitely not sleeping on any other team. I feel like we're a little bit of a dark horse. I feel like we can make it out of the losers bracket, even if we got sent there round 1.
I can tell you, if you guys end up losing to the favorite flip side and you guys are able to make it out of losers, you are going to see a lot of happy storylines coming true.
That would be a true Cinderella story. We'll do it for Supersonic Avengers. We'll be the Cinderella story.
Yeah, do it for NA. There's a lot of people that really want that to happen just because it looks really, really good for the storyline, and it makes it really good for just for the story of Rocket League as a whole. You know, the #1 team in North America drops down but comes, like, all that kind of stuff. So I'd be really excited to see that. But kind of predictions, Johnny, you talk about grand finals.
It's Weedham Girls all the way, right, Crow? Even though you think
the upper bracket, Mocket and Flipside and Kings, I feel like those 3 in the losers bracket, whoever matches up into each other is going to be a bit unfortunate. Like if Kings and Mocket play each other or Kings and Flipside play, the one on the other side kind of gets away into losers final for free.
Yeah.
But I see either Flipside or Kings most of the time coming out of the losers bracket, and I think Flipside would end up doing it actually, and we would see an EU grand final.
And did Flipside take it? Because I know you've been calling Flipside the favorite.
I think they could.
So Flipside are actually going to come and take the whole thing out of losers. So Kings are going to send Flipside to losers, and Flipside are going to wake up and win the whole thing.
That means winning 2 best of 7s. That's a lot of games. Because you know those guys are going to be battling
in the middle of a tournament.
This is true.
Yeah.
Is that I think you're the only person who's predicted a losers bracket team to win the whole thing. Right? I'm pretty sure Kronovi's the first person who's predicted a team to come out of losers and win. But correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's the case, though. That's very interesting if it is the case. And, you know, it's possible.
I feel Flipside versus Weedham is a good chance of that happening, though. It doesn't matter which way it goes up, but...
Well, once Flipside get rolling, how on earth do you stop them? That's
you
the
run
problem.
out of the way. Hopefully they trip. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, so biggest upset...
Oh, wait, yeah, Jessie predicted that the Flying Dutchman would come out of the losers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And Genesis is going to take it all, but they're not going to come out of anything. They're just going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Genesis are just going to win the whole thing according to Quinn. But kronovi, last few questions from me. I want to know who your players to watch are. Who do you think is going to show up big? And I know Lawler added onto this one to say who's going to be, performing at a higher level than they did online. Because everybody's got their online level. Who's going to show up and step it up to the next level offline?
I think I'm gonna kind of pick players from who I would say are underdog teams. I think Quinn's gonna show up. I think Zero's gonna show up. Turtle's gonna show up. Marky and Mike are both gonna show up. Pashy's gonna show up. I think it'll be up to Jessie to show up. I think everybody from Kings is gonna be very, very solid, and the same with Weedham Girls.
That's a lot of names. If you had to pick one player, who's your one player who's gonna be like standout?
Show up the most.
Will be nice. One player from each region.
Okay.
Yeah, one player from each region.
That helps me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Marky is going to show up the most from EU. And I honestly think Zero from NA is going to show up the most.
Yeah, I like confidence in your teammate.
That's what you need.
Pretty awesome. It's much needed.
He's my secret weapon.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. Everybody knows. And on the other side of the coin, who's going to flop? Who's going to just, not show up offline? Who are you expecting to, be maybe a god online, but not a player to be reckoned with offline?
For EU, I have Cucks as a player to flop. Talking on stream or even having a camera on stream is very foreign. So the fact that he needs to fly from his home all the way to the west coast of the United States and play in front of thousands of people, I think could get to him. And if it does, I could easily see him not getting those double touch aerials or even a single touch aerial. And then from NA, I'm most worried about garretg.
Interesting.
I've seen him get nervous about things in the past that are online, and so I can only imagine how nervous he could get in a LAN setting if certain things were to happen.
Do you think him having his mom there, being younger, is going to help with those nerves? He's got a
I don't know
kind
if
of like a
mommy
security
can
blanket.
I don't know if mom's going to be allowed on stage to hold his hand. I don't know.
I'm just joshing with garretg. Garrett's good. He's, I mean, he was on a little bit earlier.
Maybe he can play the final. He can sit on his mom's knee. She can come up on stage and he can just sit there, nice and secure.
Garretg with the perfect response in chat.
He's like, come on, I'm not that young.
No, garretg seems like he's pretty composed. He's doing pretty well for his age too, and we point out age a lot, but no, he seems to be handling it okay, and that's going to be totally different the day of that, and we all know that. It's a totally different story when you really get to it. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Hopefully we see everybody show up. I want to see the best Rocket League possible, but in a LAN environment, you just never know, which is really exciting. Do you think your experience with being in those kind of environments and stuff, you think that's gonna help out?
I definitely think in a LAN setting, I'm the most confident person in the room because I have the most experience playing Rocket League in front of people, like physically for a prize. So I definitely feel the most confident, and I'm the least worried about my own mental game at the LAN. And as a team, we're going to have fun. We're definitely looking at this as an amazing experience just to get to go. We're of course going to try our hardest and leave everything on the stage, but our goal is to have fun, and I'm definitely not going to let anything get in the way of having fun.
Okay. I actually have someone messaging me that Cookser used to compete in Tekken.
Right, yeah, he used to.
So,
did he?
So
he might have the sleeper experience might come in.
Yeah, and we even talked to like Pashy about that too. Like Pashy's played tennis and using kind of an outside perspective where he feeds off the crowd and stuff too, and that might help him. You get a lot of people that are actually messaging me about that, like, Pashy may feed off the crowd. So when you get, your fan bases involved, obviously kronovi, you have one of the biggest, being kind of
we're on NA soil.
Yeah,
so,
and that may play a big role.
Right.
I mean, Marky and Mike and anyone else from the colder European countries, Greazy from Norway, we're going to be just sweaty messes. They're not going to be able to function and not even going to be able to stand up. Never mind sit on a stage and play Rocket League. So let's be honest. Nah, jokes aside, I think those guys are going to do pretty well. Interesting predictions. I think the Cuxer one is going to be the most interesting one to watch. Just how well will Cux do? Because I've spoken to him a few times in voice, and he's actually got really good English. It's something that not many people know is he actually has really really good English.
He talks himself
perfectly
down
fine.
on it a lot, but
Yeah,
he's good.
He's very good English, and I'm not sure. I think that the perfect thing for Cux is that he's hopefully going to have Marky to his left, Mike to his right, and that'll, they'll be his shield or his shields. They'll protect him, and I think he'll feel quite comfortable with those two massive personalities as his teammates. If he had, two younger guys who are looking up to him, then I think it would be a different story. But yeah, I think Cux is going to be fine. Mike will look after him, Daddy Michael. He's gonna take care of him.
You even called him Michael instead of Mike because he's a father. Nice, dude.
Yeah, not just on stage. They're gonna look after him side by side.
It's great. It's great. Put him in the middle, see how he does. But yeah, Kronovi, always a pleasure. Thank you for coming out. All your predictions. Hopefully they go in your favor. If not, we'll just make fun of you later for them. So fine with me either way.
Good.
But appreciate you if you want to shoot out. Obviously, social media where people can find you, all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to move on to our last guest, sadjunior, who is waiting at the seat.
You can find me on Twitter at kronovi_RL and on Twitch at CamGears.
Awesome. Appreciate it yet again, man. Good luck with the rest of your games tonight. We will see you at the LAN.
Yep, thanks. Toss yourself.
I'm surprised less people did that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
It's pretty weird. I'm surprised it's not a reoccurring thing. But I'll just make sure to remind him what the thing is because I know it triggers him pretty good. Because as soon as he says it once, he keeps thinking about it, so it keeps happening. It's like a reoccurring issue. It's pretty good. So,
Yeah. Can't believe we've come a long way. That's the 11th guest done and dusted. We're on to number 12, sadjunior. I see him waiting in Discord. I'll drag him in here, and we'll see what he's going to say for himself. sadjunior, welcome to Top Secret.
What up,
welcome.
guys?
How's it going? How's it going?
Good.
Awesome
Always.
to hear. Awesome to hear. So I'm not sure how much you've been watching or following the events of stuff. Basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to do some rapid-fire questions. I'm going to hit you with the quarterfinal games first, get some predictions, and then Johnny's going to follow up after with your prediction results for the semis and the grand final stuff. And then we've got some questions kind of wrap it up all after that. Just so you're aware, everything is a best of 5 until the grand finals, where it is a best of 7, where the losers have to win 2 best of 7s to take it. Just so you're okay with predictions. All right?
Yeah.
All right. You ready for this?
I was born ready.
I hope so. All right. First game, Weedham Girls Genesis. Who takes it?
I think We Them Girls is gonna take it.
In what
Most
fashion?
likely.
Is it going to be reverse sweep, or are we going to have some crazy... What's going on?
I think we'll see a 3-0 or 3-1 for We Them Girls.
You got to tell me which one specifically. What do we got?
I'll have to say 3-0. It's more likely to go 3-0. I feel like We Them Girls, they outmatch slow teams, and I feel like Genesis just right at the moment they don't play fast enough to keep up with the pace of We Them Girls, and they're just gonna get dominated.
Okay. Second game, Flipside Tactics, High by Power Cosmic.
Depending on the mentality of Flipside Tactics, I feel like it's gonna go 3-1 in favor of Flipside Tactics. Most likely because Iowa Power is missing probably their best player, Gambit, and I feel like they haven't had enough time to work with Zero from like what I've seen. Like
Okay.
they've been losing to us and they've been losing to Exodus the
Okay.
past weeks, and they've lost the momentum as well.
We just had Kronovi on. He says he's actually been playing Over Zero for quite a while, and he doesn't get enough credit. He's actually mechanically very sound and all this other kind of stuff. Do you think that's just him talking, or do you think he's actually backing that?
I think that Overseer is a good player. I think people underestimate him, but I don't feel like the team has meshed or hasn't gelled together yet.
Okay.
They need more time.
And especially their first match being
Especially exactly, because
Okay.
I think that's the worst matchup they could have gotten out of all of the other teams.
Now, my curiosity is, do you think, okay, say they lose in this first series, and they go down into losers. Is that going to motivate them? They know they got the hardest match out of the way. They can focus on just playing their game and climbing up.
That depends on Lichinio. That really depends on
Okay.
Lichinio. I feel like he's a really emotional player, and the way he takes the first loss will determine their outcome and how they take the rest of the tournament.
Okay. After that, we got Mocket EU versus Exodus. You're saying 3-1 in favor of Flipside, correct?
Yeah, 3-1
Okay.
for Flipside.
All
For
right.
Mock EU Exodus, I'd say this could really go 3-2 either way. I'm gonna say Exodus is gonna take this one though.
All right. How's the results going to end up?
I really feel like Garrett's gonna show up.
Okay.
Is for all of the big tournaments, Garrett's always shown up, and when he shows up, Garrett's a scary player, very scary player, and he can almost solo carry his team when he's playing on top of his game.
Now I know that plays a factor to Turtle because Turtle feels he does a lot for that team as well. He doesn't get as much credit, and we have a lot of players that are actually saying that Turtle is going to be the one that he's going to have a breakout performance, even though Garrett's the one that has this crazy shot percentage and really makes the setup come into notice. But do you think if Turtle has a breakout performance, it'll coincidentally allow Garrett to do the same thing, or do you honestly think that just Garrett alone could do it?
I feel like they never both show up at the same time. It's either Turtle plays really well or it's Garrett plays really well, but it's usually Garrett just playing extremely well. Aside from like maybe 1 or 2 games where Turtle just goes in.
Okay. All right, last up, Flying Dutchman, Kings of Urban.
I'm gonna say 3-0 for us. Not too worried about Flying Dutchman. I don't think we've ever played them with their full roster. I think the only time we played them was when Nick was playing for us. Used Wolf, and the old player. He stopped playing competitively months ago, like last year or something.
Okay. What
but
gives
I
you the
feel-
confidence in the 3-0?
I feel like they're underestimating us, but they also don't understand that we've been playing better with the recent results, and they've been playing worse. Like they've lost to 2 teams I don't think I've ever heard of, Kaunos and something else. I don't think I've ever heard
Unspecified,
of.
yeah.
Unspecified. I've never heard of those teams.
They're like, ranked 9 and 10, or no, they're ranked 11 and 17 in EU, so they're probably, pushing for 2nd or 3rd in the power rankings in NA. I'm kidding.
Yeah, you never know with EU.
They're moving up. There's a lot of teams in the bubble in EU who are threatening on their day, but you're not wrong that losing 2 best of 3s to these teams in a row is not a good showing for the Flying Dutchman.
Right, everybody has off days, but it's a whole different story based upon where they show up in LAN environment, especially with crowd getting involved. Obviously, you guys do have a rather large fan base, whether it be Foam Hat involved with Jacob or just in general. Do you think that's going to play a really big factor for you?
Yeah, I think both Fireburner and Jacob are bringing foam hats. I think both of them are bringing foam hats. I might be the only one with a foam hat. I might have to order one, actually.
Any of them?
Why haven't you ordered one?
Case?
This isn't even a question. Get one. Do it.
Yeah, you're right. I'll do it
done.
Yeah.
That or
you're
play
right.
with foam fingers on both hands.
Yeah, I'll play the game with one finger,
Easy. All right, over to Johnny with your predictions to follow up for semis.
Yeah, so we've got your semifinals, which let me see. You've got the same predictions as Garrett, Rawlings,
Mike.
also Mike and Yumi Cheeseman. So you're in their little boat of predictions. We'll see how many of them you agree with after the semifinals are done. But first semifinal, Weedham Girls against Exodus, best of 5. Who's gonna take it?
I think Wheelam Girls is going to take it. I
And
feel
what do
like
you reckon? Easy games or close games?
it's going to be 3-2 Wheelam Girls, or
Okay.
it's going to be 3-2 Wheelam Girls.
So
I feel like
Exodus
they're
gonna
gonna-
take it close.
Yeah, Exodus is going to be close, but then again, Exodus still isn't a fast-paced team, and I feel like Wheelam Girls is just going to outpace Exodus. So Wheelam Girls are looking for a comfortable win here with the 3-2.
Mm-hmm. And yourselves against Flipside in the other semifinals, are you gonna take down the fan favorites F3?
We're pretty confident. We've played them, I think, 3 times with the current lineup we have, and we've beaten them 2 out of 3 times, 7 games to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we have a really good chance, and I feel like we'll show up and take it 3-2.
Right, interesting. So that's actually you haven't got the exact same predictions. Or you do actually. You and Garrett both have the same predictions so far. Weedham Girls, Kings of Urban final. Garrett had Weedham Girls taking this one in the winners final. This is still a best of 5. What do you think? Kings of Urban, Weedham Girls, best of 5 winners final in Hollywood. Are you guys gonna get the job done, or are Weedham Girls just too strong?
I feel like Weedham Girls is the team to beat, and we struggled the most against them. Out of all the games we've played against them, I think we've only won once or twice, but we've played them like, I don't know, like 5 times. It'll be a struggle, obviously, but I feel like whoever wins this match will win the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna go 3-2. I can't pick a winner here. It's gonna go 3-2 either way.
You have to pick a winner. Money has to be placed on the line. It's like life or death. You have to pick the winner here, and if you get it wrong, you die. Like who do you put your money on?
I'm gonna be biased and say us, because I just want my team to win, because I feel like Jacob's gonna show up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we all want it really bad, but they also want it, but we want it even more, and we'll prove that.
Yeah, it's the first Kings of Urban prediction to win the whole thing, but you know, no one better to hear it from than yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, then really who else is going to believe in you? You said Jacob's going to show up big. Is he your player to watch for all of NA, or is there anyone else that Jacob's your player to watch?
Jacob's my player to watch for NA.
What about for EU? Who are you keeping an eye on?
For EU, I'd say it'd be either Greazy or Remco. Probably Remco.
And hate to do this to you, but at the same time, I'd love to do this to you. Who do you think is going to be the player to flop, both EU and NA?
For EU, I'd say... this is hard.
Good.
I'd say Cuxer.
Cuxer.
Another Cuxer.
Yeah, later on in the interviews, we've been getting Cuxer's name cropping up again and again. He's been a popular player to flop amongst a lot of these pros who have been coming on the show. What do you reckon for NA? Who's your player to flop? Who do you think is going to struggle in the LAN environment?
I want to say Lichinio, but then I also want to say Pluto, because I feel like whenever he's overwhelmed with pressure, he starts to panic and do silly mistakes, as he has in the past. But I feel like I'm gonna still have to say Lichinio, because I feel like it's gonna be Genesis are going in there like for fun. Like they just want to have fun. They just want to enjoy themselves. Basically, that's in my mind. I think that, and then I bet Power want to win the whole thing. So Lichinio struggling will have a bigger impact on the entire team than Pluto playing bad.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Pluto is a name nobody's really been talking about. But yeah, he didn't have the greatest performances in the RLC Pro League back in the day, and likewise, you know, in the first RLCS group stage online finals, we had, you know, Genesis were 3-2 up against you guys, and then both Pluto and Quinn whiffed some very easy wall clears to give you guys a way back into game 6, and you guys took the series off the back of that. So yeah, you know, if the past holds true, then that might be a recurring theme. We'll have to wait and see. Lawler, any other things you'd like to squeeze out?
So on stream, you notoriously live up to your name, being sad. Like even when people follow you, you're like, have a terrible day, and it's like, aw, like it just hurts a little bit inside. Is that going to carry over to your persona at the LAN, or are you gonna make sure to stay upbeat and positive and happy for your team?
I'm gonna say upbeat for my team, but everyone else can have a bad day.
So it's
I don't mind if they have a bad day.
So it's a giant
So people
facade.
come up and say, "Sad, I'm your biggest fan." You're just gonna say, "Get away from me, you filth."
I wouldn't be mean. I would say have a terrible day, but I wouldn't be like straight up rude and tell them get off me.
I'm
What
gonna,
if,
I'm
what
gonna
if you
come
say
up
have
and
a
ask.
terrible day and some little child just starts crying?
Mission
Oh,
accomplished, right? Like nailed
I'll
it.
have yeah, I nailed it. I nailed it. I'll have to avoid children then.
Job done.
I'm gonna come up and ask for like a signature, and it's just gonna be a giant frowny face. That's it. Can't wait.
I hope they had a frowny face in the game one day.
That's a quick check command, just to colon
Just a sad
open
face.
bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess other stuff. Most excited about the LAN for. Obviously, I'm just excited for the gameplay and what really happens on that zero ping and who handles under the pressure. What are you most excited for?
I'm excited to go. Like, I feel like we have a really good chance to win, or place a top 3 at least, and just knowing that, being able to perform in front of a big crowd, it's exciting because it's a new experience.
Okay.
It's a big experience for sure.
Yes.
Who are you
Thanks,
most
Steve.
excited to meet?
The fangirls, obviously. Come on.
Jeez.
Okay, no, I can't say that. It's not right. I'll have to say the beard carpet.
The beard.
Oh yeah, the beard.
Good choice. Yeah, you guys have been playing quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I recently found out he's not that tall.
He's tiny. How do you not know this?
Yeah, he's 5'7".
I didn't.
No,
I didn't
no,
realize.
no.
Like, Gibbs was
He's-
the shortest.
He's like 5'9" according to him. So
All right, is it
Yeah.
that with high heels on?
yeah, yeah. By high heels, you mean his hair spiked up? Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
he gets the
he's
big
a little-
hair. Yeah.
he's a little dude.
Strategic hair.
I talked about this in another podcast that I was on about how like when he sits in his chair in the studio, his feet don't touch the floor, so they just kick back and forth. Super cute. But know.
Carpet.
he gets a lot of crap for his height, but yeah, he's pretty short. A lot of people don't expect it because his face. He looks like Leonidas. So
He does look like Leonidas. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
call
just
him my
needs to sculpt the beard a bit more. Get more of a square beard, a pointy beard maybe.
yeah. He's been
Make a
working
bit
on it.
more
Looks
like
pretty good. He
Leonidas.
just
Square beard.
square beard.
Well, it's like a sideways square where you get the triangular sort of point on the end of the beard, like a square. You know what people call a square jaw?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get a square beard.
Yeah.
So look dead like Leonidas.
I call him my tiny Spartan for a reason. So yeah, he's good stuff. That'll be fun. Yeah, we're excited to meet you guys too. But I kind of think that wraps it up for us here. Sad, if you want to shoot out any of your information, where people could find you, Twitter, Twitch, social medias, all that kind of stuff. And then me and Johnny got some other stuff we got to do to wrap things up.
Yeah. My Twitter is sadjunior with a 0 instead of an O, and my Twitch is sad_junior. I have a bi-monthly stream if one catches it, so that's good. And have a terrible day, guys.
Awesome. Awesome. We appreciate it, Sad. Cannot wait to meet the rest of you guys at the LAN. Thank you for stopping by and staying up ever so late for us to watch and allow us to interview you.
Yeah, no problem.
I appreciate it,
Talk
man.
later, dude.
All right, that was Sad Junior, guys, on That's the Thing. We are about to wrap things up here. We just pretty much interviewed way too many people in unique fashion about LAN predictions and everything. But Johnny, is there any other things you would like to add on the back end of this before we close off and go to live Q&A?
I think right before we do that, I think we should give our predictions, Lawler, because we've been,
Okay.
talking mad smack and, holding people to their predictions. I think it's only fair that we put our predictions
good
out
idea.
there so
I
when
like
we
that,
get them
I like
wrong,
that.
people can come and make fun of us. So we've actually interviewed 13 people, but let's just really quickly get
never
our own
before
stuff.
done. Never. We interviewed 13, so let's make it a not even 15, right?
Make it 15, yeah. So
15.
Lawler, who's going to win? Who's the first matchup? Weedham Girls or Genesis?
Weedham Girls, I'm gonna give them a 3-0.
All right.
I
We're
think
just
their
going to
team's
go quick fire for us.
Yeah, team's too strong.
Yeah, too strong. Flip side IBP.
Flip side 3-1.
All right. And then we have Mocket and Exodus.
Exodus 3-2.
And then we have KOU and the Flying Dutchman.
KOU 3-0.
All right. So that leaves us with Weedham Girls Exodus in semifinal number 1.
3-1 Weedham Girls.
And Flipside Kings of Urban in semifinal number 2.
That hurts. Flipside KOU. Flipside 3-0. No, Flipside 3-1.
Okay. And then Weedham Girls vs Flipside in the winners final.
Gosh, that's tough. Based upon how it's been happening, Weedham Girls 3-2 over Flipside.
And then anyone coming out of the losers to upset Weedham Girls in the double best of 7.
I would love for an NA team to make a run for it, but I doubt it's going to happen because I got to get through Flipside again. I think Flipside's going to come up against Weedham Girls. Flipside's going to take the first best of 7, 4-3. And then in the second best of 7, oh gosh. I mean, it really depends on Cooks here. It really does. I think Weedham Girls will take it in the second best of 7, 4-3. I think Weedham Girls is going to take it all.
Weedham Girls take it all. And players to watch both NA and EU for you.
In EU, gosh. Man, that's tough. For NA, Turtle. I expect Turtle to really show up. In EU, oh man. Possibly Turbo, possibly Pashy. One of those two. I think someone on Mocket's really going to step up. I'll go with Pashy. I expect Pashy to have a really good performance. I think the crowd's going to really back him.
Yeah. Then who's going to flop for NA and EU? One from each.
Player or team?
Player.
I think I like that the joke. I think Dogu's gonna get neutered. I think Dogu's gonna have
that's pretty good.
I think Dogu's gonna have a rough time. And then for NA, I think Latch is gonna have a really hard time.
Yeah, it's been quite a popular opinion, that one. Yes, that does it for your predictions. Looks like you agree with... Who do you agree with now? Weedham Girls Flipside, Weedham Girls winning it. You agree with Mike. You also agree with Yumi Cheeseman. Oh, no, you don't. Yumi and Mike both had...
Yeah,
they both had Flipside winning. Do you have... Maybe you disagree with everybody, actually. I think you might.
There's got to be some people...
Oh, no, Greazy. No, Garrett, rather. Garrett. Yeah, Garrett had the same as you. Garrett had the same as you. Oh, no, he didn't. Nobody has the same as you.
Nobody thinks Weedham Girls is going to take it?
Nobody thinks the exact thing that you did. At least not that I can see. It's difficult because I'm having to look at a lot of information here.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's people that think Weedham Girls will take it, but I don't think they expect...
It's just everybody who expects both Exodus and Kings to make the semis also think Flipside are going to win. That's the thing that separates your predictions from everybody else's predictions who think
I think
Exodus
Flip's going to get knocked down to the losers. Obviously, they'll try to fight back, but Weedham Girls will come out at the end. So.
Yeah, you're closest to Garrett. Garrett agreed with you in everything except he thinks Flipside are going to lose to Kings of Urban in semis in a close series.
Okay.
But your predictions are actually unique as far as results go, which is actually quite interesting. Even after all this, we can still get unique predictions. And I know for a fact mine will be unique because I was listening out throughout all this to see if anybody had the predictions I have, and nobody said them.
Awesome. Let's get right into it. First game, Weedham Girls Genesis. Who you got?
Weedham girls. Easy.
3-0.
Yeah, 3-0 Weedham girls.
Do you want me to write these down, or you got them for yourself?
I've got it, don't worry.
Easy.
I've got the whole shebang over here. This
Nice.
is ridiculous.
Means I don't have to write on my little chicken scratch anymore. It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We got flip side, high by power.
Flip side. It's going to be 3-1. I think flip side will need a wake-up game.
We agree on that
IBP
one,
will
don't we?
take game 1.
I think we agree on that one. Yep. Makadiu Exodus.
I'm going to give it to Mocket 3-0. I don't think anybody's expecting this one to be... Well, not many people expected this to be one-sided, but I think it will be. I don't think Genesis... I don't think Exodus are going to have as much stability on the LAN as Mocket do. I think Mocket are just going to crush it.
We'll find out, man. We'll find out. Flying Dutchman,
Yeah, we'll
Kings
see.
of Urban.
Kings of Urban. I think that the Flying Dutchmen have been getting a bit better, and they probably will improve a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. Kings are by far the strongest team in North America right now, in my opinion.
I agree. All right. Semis, that means Weedham Girls versus Mocket.
I think Weedham Girls 3-2. It's going to be close. I really think it's going to go to game 5, but Weedham Girls are going to edge it. They're just that little bit better, that little bit faster. It might even go to game 5 OT. This is a really, really close series, in my opinion. Weedham Girls Mocket.
All right. Flip KOU.
I'm actually going to go to KOU. I think that in this one,
Really?
Kings of Urban are going to win it. Yeah, in the semis, I think Flipside are still going to be a little bit sleepy. This is day 1, so I think Flipside are going to, take that little bit longer to get accustomed to the LAN. Even though they will at this point have been in LA for almost a week, because those guys are going out early with me on Sunday, this Sunday coming. So I think they're going to be prepared, but I feel like day 1, Flipside are not going to be strong enough to take down KOU. I think it's going to be close. I'd give it to KOU 3-2.
Okay, that changes up. So that means we got KOU and Weedham Girls, right?
Yeah, and I think this is day 2 now of LAN, and I think Weedham Girls are going to dispatch with Kings of Urban. I think the best score Kings can hope for is 3-2. Well, obviously in a loss that's the best you can hope for, but I'm expecting 3-1 is a more likely scoreline. I think Weedham Girls are probably going to win 2 games, then drop a game, and then win the 3rd game. I expect Weedham to take it. They're just going to be too good for the Kings on day 2.
Okay, anybody going to emerge from losers to bring it back?
Yep, flip side from losers. They're going to come back and take the whole thing, I think.
And 2 best of 7s are going to clutch it?
Yep, day 2
would
flip
be
side's going to be another beast. They're going to
insane.
steamroll everybody. There might even be a 4-0 in there against Weedham. I think they're going to show up so big and just annihilate everybody. So yeah, flip side taking an early dip to the losers bracket day 1, and then they're going to come back and win the whole thing, which on a second glance, actually Woody did predict that as well. Woody and Kronovi and me are all in the flip side from the losers bracket party.
That'd be a great storyline. It really would.
Yeah, that's, for me, that's going to happen, I think.
Awesome. All right, your big upsets. Who's going to be 2 big flops for one NA, one AU?
The flops, I think that NA's flop, it's almost like a bandwagon at this point, but I think Lachinio, he's considered, or he has for the longest time been considered one of the best players in NA. And I don't think he's going to show up in the LAN. I really hope that he proves me wrong, and I hope everybody in the player to flop category can prove all of us wrong.
Right. I hope none of the players take this as a personal hit. We want you guys to show up. Obviously you guys are there for a reason. Play your absolute best Rocket League. Show us the best games we can imagine. I want every game to go to the best of 5. I want the last game of the series. We're basing their predictions, you guys. Don't take it personally.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one that I haven't heard yet, but I think in the grand final, when it comes down to it, I think that Maestro is not going to be playing at his best. I think he's going to struggle to get into the game when flip sides start rolling. So I think Maestro, he'll be fine all the way up until the end, but I think that when it comes down to it, he's a very emotional player. And I think that if flip sides start to get the ball rolling, it'll be tough for him to stay relevant.
Yeah. And then who are your 2 to watch? 2 that are going to have breakout performances, whether it be above already what they do, or just in general.
Yeah, I think Jacob for KOU. I think he's the best player in North America for a reason. I think he's going to show up and do some mad assists, some crazy goals, and he's going to be, you know, solid enough in defense as well. I think he's going to be the best player for North America at the tourney. For EU, you know, a lot of people have been saying that Kux is going to choke, but I think Kuxer is going to show up and, you know, carry Flipside in the final. I think he's going to be the player that really, you know, just he'll be the biggest change. I think, you know, day one, we might, when I'm expecting Flipside to go into losers, we might, you know, see Kux having a few off games where he just, you know, can't really find his feet in the game, and he falls, you know, falls prey of some missed hits and stuff like that, missing open nets, maybe complete aerial whiffs. But I think day two, he'll be completely comfortable. He's a fast learner, something he's not credited for. He's a very fast learner. Completely changed his playstyle from the freestyle oriented player that he used to be to being now just a very, very solid, grounded player. And I think that day two Kux is going to be a monster, and he's going to carry Flipside to the championship win.
See, I like that you say that too, because it brings in a unique proponent of the game where initially he may have a hard time, but that support base of having two probably of the best players to keep you level-headed in Mike and Markey, and having, you know, time overnight to say, okay, you know, this is where we messed up, this is what we need to improve, and then using that as motivation, I think will really, really help them. And I think being able to then go through losers and keep building that confidence against teams that they should beat, I think will make for a very unique finals. I cannot wait. So that is going to do it for us here, you guys, on That's the Thing. I am Lawler, and with me, Johnny Boy, as always. Johnny, if you want to shoot out your info, and then I'll shoot out mine, and then we will cut the podcast portion, a very, very long one today, because we had a lot of friends, but then we will open it up to a live Q&A, and we'll only do that for about 15 minutes because it's way past Johnny Boy's bedtime. So
yeah, it's pretty late over here. But yeah, if you want to find me on Twitter or on Twitch, then there it is at JohnnyBoy_I, or twitch.tv/JohnnyBoy_I. If you go to either of those links, you'll find my YouTube on either of them as well. That's the three places you can find me. Be sure to follow my Twitter while I'm away, and I'll be uploading YouTube videos every day that I'm away as well, just to, you know, keep putting content out there for anyone who's, you know, having the withdrawal symptoms of, you know, 1v1 videos. I've been very fortunate to be a part of recently. Definitely check out the last one that I uploaded to YouTube, 1v1 between Marky and Scrub, for $550, which was crowdfunded.
Awesome.
So that was
so awesome.
Probably the most fun I ever had on stream. It was incredible.
Good
Definitely check that out if you haven't seen it already. Yeah, that's about it from me, Lawler.
Awesome. For me, it's Lawler. You guys are on my channel. Feel free to drop a like or follow or subscribe if you're really feeling generous. Same thing with Johnny. Johnny just got a sub button, so congrats to him there. If you guys feel like supporting the stream, all of these will be exported over to YouTube, youtube.com/C/Lawler_RL, which is also the same as my Twitter, Lawler_RL. Make sure you guys check by that. We got some pretty cool stuff going on over there regarding That's the Thing, as well as other stuff. If you guys feel like supporting the podcast or anything else, I am selling merch that is officially done tonight. If you !point merch in chat, you can see 4 shirts that have to deal with me or That's the Thing in general. If you guys feel like supporting that, we're trying to get those shipped out before LAN, which is pretty cool. Otherwise, feel free to tweet at me if you guys want any of the campaigns to be relaunched, and we can make sure we get you guys some of that stuff as well.